So at one of my temp jobs, I actually had a moment of truth, called an epiphany. This is a situation. I was putting away makeup on the shelf at some store. I don't remember, CVS, Walgreens, that type of store. Came in early one day, seen the supervisor, my supervisor, whatever I had to report to every day. I was like, "Hey, good morning, boss. I seen the truck pull up around back. They was unloading that powder Revlon that we've been waiting on." The powder Revlon we've been waiting on. Man, just saying it back, I'm starting to discuss myself all over again. I had to take a break. I was like, "I'll be right back." Went to the bathroom, washed my hands, threw cold water on my face, looked at myself in the mirror long and hard and said, "Where did you go wrong in life, man? I'm talking about you been, yes sir, boss. I can't wait. Can't wait to get work out here in the field." You get yourself together, man. Your tap dancing, stepping, fetch it, wanna be Sambo. I disgusted myself and I was like, temping really ain't easy. Disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of LB Tales from the Hood. And in case you don't know by now, I'm your boy LB, bringing you stories of my past just to entertain and also to educate. So today's episode is called Temping Ain't Easy. Now, today's episode is about some of the various temp jobs that I work. I mean, I've worked different jobs over the years, but the most interesting I would have to say is the temp agency jobs. Because you meet some really interesting people, have some really interesting experiences going to different places. Now, one common theme I notice among a lot of the temp jobs I work is that usually, well, I can't say usually, but I would say maybe it's just so happened to be the temp agency I worked at and the temp jobs I worked at or whatever. This is my experience, by the way, so don't hold nothing against me. A lot of the people there are usually just got out of prison, headed on their way to prison, trying to dodge prison, whatever the case is. Now, it's not to say anything, bad about these people, because I don't discriminate. You know what I'm saying? I understand things happen. My background is checkered as far as not going to jail, but as far as, people can sit there and try to judge you for whatever the case is. But so I don't judge anybody. But it's just always an interesting experience when you're dealing with people, from certain backgrounds and certain types of things. So like I said, I have respect and, love for everybody. So this is not to discriminate. But it's just, it makes for one heck of an interesting story. So, alright, this first place I'm going to talk about is this, I believe it was some type of printing company. We did something with filing and paperwork, but it was this job in the city. We call it the city here in New York, that's Manhattan. So at this particular temp job that I worked at for this office building, or this office company, it was overnight shift. And that's another thing. See, another thing is, quite a few of the temp jobs I took was also overnight. So what I found that the company may do is they have a lot of their regulars during the day, maybe a few temps during the day, but people that I guess during the day can blend in with, even if they don't necessarily deal with clients, it's a certain type of atmosphere during the day. At nighttime, they usually bring in the ones who, it could be more flexible because this is after hours, the businesses are closed, maybe in the area, or if it's a suite in another place, or sometimes it was his own building, but, so at nighttime, it's a different type of element, let's put it like that, different element. Because, just to divulge for a minute, let's get off to another place I used to work at. It was another professional place that dealt with all type of paperwork for different type of law firms. At nighttime, they had the hood folk. I worked the overnight shift with them, and it's crazy. Let me tell you how real it is. It's so real that they're going to do what they do overnight, and they didn't care as long as you got the work done. But it got so real that dudes was splitting their Dutches open and dumping the guts out right there on the steps. Yo, it's like the supervisor had to have a conversation with the shift like, yo, you know what I'm saying? we know y'all smoke, you do your thing, whatever. As long as you get the work done, we don't care. Just make sure, there's garbage cans there. If you want to split your Dutches, whatever you're doing, dump it over in the garbage can, whatever. That's how real it was. They knew what it was. And in the day shift, the daytime, they didn't care. As long as the work got done overnight, they was like, whatever. But they made sure they got us out of there before them daytime people came. There was one time we had a project that it was like, had to be due like last minute. So we ended up staying till like 8 a.m. Because normally they was like, all right. They was like, actually might have been past 8 a.m. It might have been actually, I would say to 9 a.m. But normally, the overnight shift, it's supposed to be over at 8, they would get us out there like 7:45, be like, hurry up, get them up out of here. It was like, you know, the certain type of folks are coming, get them out of here. But that one time we had to do OT, we seen the people in the daytime. Dudes came in with suits and they gave them laptops. These are regular workers now. They was giving them laptops and all type of stuff, so you know what it is. They was looking like, oh my God, the maintenance crew stayed overnight. Who are these guys? It was like, all right, they had to come tell our shift, like, all right, you did a good job. You know it's a rush project, but you ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. So anyway, getting back to the story of the place I worked in the city, the copy place. So it was so crazy there, man. Like, dudes was really acting like, I don't know, they was acting like each different division in this copy place was sets or something like that. Like, really, they was acting like they was set tripping, like this is gang territories. Let me tell you how it was. You had the dudes by the copy machines, right? Yeah, all right. Dudes was looking like, you know, over there trying to look tough. Then you had other dudes that was filing paperwork. Dudes from the copy, doing the copies, didn't like the dudes that was filing paperwork. They was like, nah, they was like, yeah, over here, it's like, you know, they like the Lower East Side over here, you know what I'm saying? We the West Side over here, the Upper West Side. It was really crazy. Like, I'm looking at dudes, when I came into work, it's like dudes would really be posted up, like trying to grill each other, like posted up together on these different divisions. And I'm like, yo, dude, do you realize that we're at work? I'm like, you want to do all that block nonsense, you need to keep it on the block. I'm like, we're at work where we had to fill out paperwork. You have to fill out, you know, your what is it? Man, it's been so long. So there was a W-4s, W-2s, whichever one you have to fill out for the IRS. You got to fill that out. They got your license on record, your address. They know where you live. Anything you do here, you know already. Even if you skate up out the place, they can send them boys to your house. It's a wrap, man. We here to do work. I ain't here for all the nonsense, but they was really serious. And then here's the thing. While them two dudes, or those two sides, not dudes, because it was multiples of people on each side. But the copy machine dudes was beefing with the ones over there that was filing the paperwork. Both of them could agree on the fact that they ain't like the dudes that was over there with the paper clips. Because you had a specific section that they were just dealing with, just paper clipping certain pages together. But one thing that's crazy, I do got to say, them paperclip boys had they had to look down pat. And that's crazy, paperclip boys. It's like a whole gang. Got the copy machine boys, the paperclip boys. But the paperclip, they used to be extras, like, you know, I don't know, y'all, if anybody know the group from back in the days, Antics, the rap group, popular rap group, they had a lot of hit songs. Yeah, the order was like this. And then Sticky Fingers was like, and you know, sometimes I gotta remember, because like sometimes when I'm telling jokes, I speak about things, you know, I'm up there in age, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a few years off from 50. It's all good. May not look it, but yo, so I gotta remember, I gotta come with something modern. Cause it's crazy. Just to diverge one more time, I was actually telling a joke by my son's school, my oldest son, and this is back in the days when he was like he might have been like in 4th grade. And I remember we had this other kid that we used to I don't think the kid was from his class, but it was a kid that we, you know, after school, he used to stand out in the front and the kid would be waiting for his mom. And I remember one time I was talking to my son and the other kid, and I told a joke, and the kid looked at me, he was like, you know I don't know what you're talking about, man. I was like, what? He was like, come on, man. He was like, do you know how old I am? He's like, you mad old. He was like looking at me like, boomer. Yo, call me a boomer, looking at me like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm thinking back like, oh, I was like, that was a TV show I grew up off, so he wouldn't get the reference. So I was like, okay, all right. So I'm looking around like, I'm telling my son like, all right, yeah, this is a funny guy. You're right, you don't get it. I'm like, I'm like, tell my son, let's go. We go into the car. I was like, normally we gonna stand around out here and just, you know, even though there's other kids coming out and their parents and stuff, we normally stand around here and wait to make sure his mama pick him up. Today, he gonna be alright. Stay with the crowd. We going. Nah, I'm just kidding. I didn't do it. I couldn't leave little man out there, but I was sitting there like, I just smiled it off. I'm like, you're a funny dude. I was like, alright. Turned to the side. I was telling my son, I was like, I ain't gonna leave you out here by yourself. We'll make sure your mama come to pick you up safely. But I was like, I ain't got much more to say. But anyway, man, so going back to the references, if you don't know Onyx, here's one more up to date. Casanova 2 times. And by the way, free the guy Casanova, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever going on with the situation, you know, hope the best for him. But, you know, that just, you know what I'm saying, with a lip just like it's permanently stuck up there. Like, yeah, anybody got a problem? So yeah, so dudes is really like that. Them paperclip boys, they was like on extra tough mode or something. So they would just be posted up like grilling the copy machine boys and grilling the other dudes, the paper filers. So that was bug, man. Every day I went to work, I was like, man, I'm like, whatever they put me at, man. I'm like, I ain't set tripping. I don't claim paper clip boys. I don't claim copy machine. Wherever I gotta go, I got to go. Just send me wherever, man. So that was crazy at that temp job. Now, whew, I did quite a few temp jobs. The next one we're gonna move on to, I would say is, and this here, I would have to say when I worked at the at a place where we was putting away makeup. It was like a we was putting makeup on shelves. It's like one of those like a CVS or Walgreens type of place. It was something like that, but the job basically, I can't remember exactly the place it was, but I know I had to put away makeup on shelves. Now this is, woo, this story gets interesting, man. It just brings back memories, just thinking about it. Just memories just flooding back, this craziness. But all right, so in this job, I actually ended up meeting a couple brothers that lived not too far from where I live, so I would give them a ride to work. So the first brother I met, I mean, you know, cool brother, down to earth, very good guy. He was telling me, you know, he was an ex-pimp and all. Look, whatever people did or alleged to do, I don't judge, man. It is what it is, and I'm happy to see if a brother was doing something, was out in the streets, now he doing something positive, so I'm all behind it. Like I said, I don't judge nobody. So, he's cool. We riding together, and his man rode with him too. His man been back and forth to prison. But the interesting thing about this is, his man was institutionalized. And when I say that, it's like, he had been in prison for so long, it's like, he would have flashbacks and snap and think that he's there. So dude warned me. He said, "Look, I'm gonna warn you." He's like, "Yo, the brother's a good brother. You know what I'm saying? He's cool and all, but sometimes he has these flashes. He go back. So just let you know, you see him wild out. He get this look in his eye. He might think he back at the mess hall or something or whatever, or walking the yard, whatever. So just letting you know whatever." So I was like, I appreciate it. You know, I mean, the brother's trying to do something positive. You out here trying to make an honest living. I'm all for it. Whatever, man. So we going to work together in the mornings. So I remember one day we had to take these makeup racks. We had to take the makeup racks. It was like old broken down racks or whatever. And we had to just break them down. And just basically some metal racks or whatever. We had to take them out back to the garbage, bust them down, throw it away. So I see the dude, one of the ones I ride with that been to prison before. So I'm pretty sure I had an idea what he was doing, but I just had to be sure. So I asked this man, the other dude he rode with. I'm like, we breaking down these racks and throwing the pieces away, but your man's sitting on the curb and he broke a piece off. He's over there, look like he trying to sharpen it up on something. I'm like, what's really good? And he's like, oh man. He said the dude was really on one this morning. He was talking about, yo man, if they try to stick him for his commissary, he gonna have to handle his business. Somebody gonna have to get it out in the yard. And I'm like, out in the yard? And I'm like, we're outside now. But what yard is he talking about? I'm like, we are not. He's like, yeah. He's like, he got his ups and down days. Today's not the best of days, man. So he was like, he in that mind state right now. Like, no, they ain't getting my commissary. Hell, they ain't taking my ho-ho cakes. I said, all right. I said, cool. So at that point in time, look, man, it's all well and good. I understand that. I was cool with the brother, but I was like, he bugging out. I don't know if he gonna flip out, look at me, think that I'm the opposite, and be like, there he go. That's the dude that tried to take my biscuit last week. Catch me somewhere, whatever, and we putting the makeup on the shelf, or we out here bringing some more trash out here. I said, all right, man. I said, feeling a little nervous. I thanked the brother. I said, feeling a little uncomfortable. We'll put it like that. And I don't like to feel uncomfortable. So whenever I'm uncomfortable, I need something to help myself feel comfortable. And just in case, I was not in fear of my life because it wasn't an immediate threat, but there's a potential threat. So I said, okay, he's doing that. So I went, grabbed one of the racks that we was breaking down. I broke off 2 pieces. And I started carving it up. Started going against the curb. You see the little sparks. I'm going, I'm trying to get that joint sharp, find whatever I can, trying to sharpen the. So the other kid, so the dude walked by, he's laughing. He's like, yo, he's like, oh, man, what you doing? He was like, you out here making that too? I said, look, man. I said, this brother's cool and all. I said, got much love for the brother, you know what I'm saying? We roll together every day. But I said, if he bugging out right now and he come at me with one, I was like, I don't know. I said, he's used to that knife work in the yard or whatever. He's used to making shanks. I said, he come with that shank work. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I was like, so he's making 1, I'm making 2. I said, so look, I'm like, man, hey, I'm not getting it because I don't want to assault anybody. That's not what I do. but I'd like to have something to defend myself if it comes down to it. So I said, he has way more experience than I do. He got experience in the yard with the shankings. I was like, so I got to get the 2 so I have a fighting chance. He nice with the 1, I need to have 2. And just come there so I could be ready to defend myself, however. But I had to let the brother know too. I told the brother, I said, look, man, I said, however go down, I was like, you do know if at high noon we have a double shanking up in here, I was like, you do know I'm sorry the 2 of y'all going to have to find another ride home. I mean, that's, considering, you know, we're not in a hospital or jail or, you know, cuffed to the hospital bed, whatever happens after that. But double stabbings after that, I can't ride in the car with the brother after that. But I said, up until then, it's all well and good. I said, you know, he making his 1, I'm making my 2. You know, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. And just in case it's a situation where he snaps and I'm in fear of my life, I have some means to defend myself. So that was crazy. So, all right, I remember one day, those 2 brothers didn't ride me that day. For whatever reason, they didn't come to work. So it was a new guy that was there. So I'm working with the brother, so he gets to talking to me. And you know, you get to talking to people, you get to meeting a lot of interesting, nice people at the job, whatever. So this dude go off, and he start talking this stuff. He was telling me how, all right, he used to, but according to him, he played professional basketball, wasn't no major star, was in the NBA or whatever. He said he rode the bench. He said his checks or whatever, he had a nice little check he would get, 10 grand a week or whatever. But he was telling me what happened is he got injured. So I'm like, okay, look, he could be telling the truth, he could be lying. I'm not sitting here judging nobody. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But the next part is really what threw me for a loop. And it made me like reevaluate a lot of stuff, and eventually, you know, I got up out of the whole, you know, trying to work for somebody else and tipping. I'm sorry, I said it's just not for me. Too much going on, too many issues. But you know, I was trying to fix my life anyway at this point in time. But you know, we all go through things. It is what it is. Nothing against working a regular job, man. By the way, sorry. So after the basketball thing, he's telling me so when he got injured and that didn't work out, he talking about he took his, you know, whatever money he had, his last little bit of money, NBA check. And he went and copped him 2 bricks. So you can go flip that. Drive that down south, flip that, whatever. I'm sitting there like, okay. I'm like, I really don't like hearing about people alleged crimes. I said, because here's the thing. Maybe he's telling the truth, maybe he's not. Either way, I don't care. I'm like, that stuff doesn't impress me. I was like, you know, negativity, none of that, you know, I'm not really into it. You know, I tell my stories to entertain and also to educate, but, you know, I don't tell these stories just because it ain't clout chasing, and I don't even want clout for that. And, you know, I don't want a certain type of clout anyway, because I don't like to be associated with certain type of things. I'm always bringing positivity. I put myself out in public. I try to always put myself out in a positive fashion. But, like I said, I wasn't really trying to hear that part, like, whatever. I'm like, we making small talk, but when it started going there, so he telling me he bought these 2 bricks, he drove down south, come to find out when he got there and was in the process of doing the transaction, he's lucky to be alive because come to find out it's like 2 bricks, I don't know, it was flour, you know, baby powder, something, man. All I know is it wasn't what it's supposed to be. You know, the brother, you know, thought he had 2 bricks of raw, he had 2 bricks of nah, just nah. I mean, like, and I'm sitting there, like, when he's telling me this, I'm like, all right, man. I was like, you know, at times I could bite my tongue. I'm like, I'm not trying to, maybe the brother, he's pouring his heart out. Maybe he's telling the truth, maybe he's not. I'm like, I don't want to kill his dreams. But I said, I ain't really trying to hear all this. I'm like, over here, this dude, phony Montana over here. You know what I'm saying? From hoop dreams to trap dreams to coke fiends. What's going on here, man? I'm like, okay. So he telling me he doing all that, he did all this or whatever, didn't work out for him, so he's down bad. That's how he ended up at the job. And look, I was down bad too, man. I understand, man. I understand what that's like, but I really didn't want to hear that. The whole time he telling me, I was like, I really want to tell this brother, like, yo, all right, man, I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm like, look at my life right now, man. I'm like, everybody got a story, but I'm like, when we was working, it wasn't even lunchtime. I'm like, I still got like another, you know, you're always checking the time. You're like, damn, got that much more than lunch? I thought it was almost lunchtime. Another 2.5, 3 hours? I said, but I've only been working here with 20 minutes? Yo, I'm like, I just want to go to the car at lunchtime, sit, put the seat back, eat my week-old stale peanut butter and jelly sandwich while I sit there, put something on the radio, maybe hear some depressing music. That's going to remind me about my life. Look at myself every once in a while. I look up in the rear view like, where did I go wrong in life? Somewhere I was supposed to take a right turn, I went left. And I'm like, come back from lunch. Well, actually, I try to eat my lunch as quick as possible. You got like 30 minutes. I'm like, all right. So I give me about, if I can eat my food in 10 minutes, I can catch me a 15-minute nap, wake up in just enough time if I hear the alarm on my phone to run back in there. I got 5 minutes to make it back to punch back in. And I'm like, let me do that, come back from lunch, have however many hours I have left, get off so I can drive home. I'm like, when I get home, I can sit there, wash up, try to find some funky leftovers I probably don't want to eat from the rewarming for the past 3-4 days. Eat that, wash up, go to bed, lay there, cry myself to sleep, try to think about where I went wrong in my life once again, so I could wake up early in the morning to come out in the butt booty cold, freezing, so I could relive this hell all over again. And I gotta hear this story. I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm holding it, I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, no doubt. But here's the next part that was crazy, and after this happened, I said, I definitely gotta get myself together, man. The brother needed a ride home that evening, so I said, okay, man, if I'm in a position to help somebody, I try not to turn people down, position to help them. Don't have any gas money, I understand. Temp job, we all down bad, we all hurting. Drive him home. Come to find out later on when I go through my stuff, some I don't know when, but when the brother got in the car, some type of, I don't know when, I must have turned my back, whatever. The brother stole a pair of socks I had. Now here's the thing. I kept an extra pair of socks on me. And here's another thing that makes it bad, because let me tell you how down bad I was. The socks that he stole from me, actually, washed them so many times they weren't even white. They looked like grayish brown. They was stained up. It had holes, like in the back of the heel had a hole. I think they're in the front, like 2 of my toes would stick out through the socks. It was just looking crazy. And I think they had a little bit looked like I was aiming for the bathroom one time in my socks and I missed. It had like yellow stains in the side. I don't know, looked like rust stains. Socks ain't look too good. The brother took my socks. And I'm like, damn. When I got home and I went through my stuff, I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, the brother took my socks. And here's the thing. Here's an interesting story behind this too. This is why I had an extra pair of socks to begin with. Years before, I had worked at this, at a car dealership. And at the car dealership, we used to have to drive the cars to the roof. So on the roof, whenever it would rain, it would flood. So one time it had flooded. It had finished raining that day real hard or whatever. Drove the car upstairs. When I got out, the water was like past my ankle. So it's like the water got down my shoe. My socks was completely soaked. Socks soaked, shoes were wet. So I remember I went back down and I went back down to the break room. So I was telling one of the guys who worked behind the counter, I was like, yo, man. I was like, shh. I went up to the roof. I was dropping the car off up there. It was raining crazy hard earlier, so, you know, the water up on the roof, it floods. I was like, my socks is soaked, man. What am I supposed to do, man? I was like, I can't be walking around the rest of the day. I don't have a change of socks, whatever. I could catch pneumonia. So the brother was messing me at the time, but I ain't, you know, back then, I wasn't, I don't know. I was in a different frame of mind. I wasn't really thinking. So the brother's like, you know what we do when our socks get wet? I'm like, yo, what you do, man? Tell me, put me on. He's like, yo, I'm going to put you on to some game. He's like, whenever our socks get wet, we just go in the break room and throw them right in the microwave, throw it on for like 2 minutes, heat them up, boom. Water's all dried up. He said, plus your socks are nice, hot, warm and toasty, throw them in your feet, you got money. So I said, all right. I said, that's what y'all do? He said, yeah, that's what we do. He said, we all throw our socks in the microwave. I said, boom, bet. So I went to the break room, took my socks off, squeezed them out, you know, tried to steal them, you know, went and, I think I went to the bathroom first though, when I went to take them off. Actually used some soap and water, scrub them, because I was like, I'm just not going to put some just dirty socks in the microwave or whatever. I said, at least I'm going to wash them off first. Then I throw them in there. It was already wet anyway. Threw them in the microwave, like 2 minutes. Think 2 minutes, they still was a little wet. Threw in another minute, boom. Took them out, they was hot. Dude that told me to do that was like, yo, you put your socks in the microwave? And I'm sitting there like, ooh, this dude told me that before. He blowing my spot. He said, nah. He said, that's crazy. And here's a crazy thing too. Even though I rinsed my socks out with soap and water, after putting them in the microwave, basically, the socks, they was a little bit more white than the other socks that the dude stole me, but they still was some old socks, and I ain't gonna lie. Smell a little bit like vinegar. And I say that because the socks, to me, didn't smell like vinegar when I was wearing them. After putting them in the microwave, the break room was smelling like vinegar. It smelled like somebody just opened up like the deluxe stupid dookie extra Costco family size bag of salt and vinegar chips and just ripped it open and just said like this, ha, and just threw the chips around the room. Ah! It smelled like salt and vinegar up in the break room. So I was like, that's crazy. So the guy that told me to do that, he gave me the nickname. He said, yo, it's Sacco! Sacco! So every day I came to work after, they'd be like, yo, look, it's Sacco! And I'm like, man, you need to stop that Sacco, man. Hold on the phone. I'm like, he told me they put these socks in the microwave. Of course, he got over on me. I know people gonna be looking at me like, man, what's wrong with you? You slow, dude? You put it... I was in a dilemma. Caught me in a moment of weakness. I was down bad anyway. The job wasn't really paying that much. I mean, I think I was getting paid, what? It might have been $7, $8 an hour or something. I don't even think it was $8 an hour. It might have been 7 and change. Whatever. Wasn't paying that much. Wasn't in the right frame of mind. I put them in the microwave. Problem solved. So since that day, that's when I started carrying with me an extra pair of socks. So that's why I had the extra socks on me for that guy who stole them. That's what they was there. It was my backup socks. Now, why do my socks look like that? Well, here's the thing. Grandmama always told me, just like Mama always told me, you always want to have on a pair of clean drawers and usually clean underclothes if you have to go to the hospital. So my thing is this. I had a choice back then. You're going to have some clean drawers, maybe some old holy socks, or you're going to have some dirty funky drawers with a fresh new pair of socks. I opted for the clean drawers. I said, because you know what? I said, I spent a lot of time in hospital, especially growing up. I was always jacking myself up as a kid. Breaking this, breaking that, doing this, doing something crazy. I was like, many times I spent in the hospital, they give you them gowns. Last thing I need is to be up in here with some dirty, funky drawers, and I need to take my drawers off because when they give you the gown and put it on, people can see your whole back out. And I was like, that's all I need. Somebody be looking like, did he have on see-through drawers? Are he wearing them? Just cheeks all out and all that? You know, pause. But I'm just saying, that's what's going to happen. So I was like, it's either wear the dirty, funky drawers or take them off. I'm like, here's the thing. If I'm in the hospital, I can leave on my clean drawers. I can take off the socks with the hole in it. What are you going to do? Walk around those socks? Sometimes they give you little footy socks anyway. Throw one in the hospital. Boom. There you go. As soon as I get to the hospital, first thing, socks coming off. They be like, you ain't got no socks. I ain't got no socks. Need a little footies. Clean drawers though. So, at the time I was down bad, had to opt for one, so the socks was old holy socks. And like I said, it was gray, had a little bit of yellow, looked like rust stains / piss stains. I don't know how they even happened like that. They sat around one day, just molded, I don't know, washed too much, faded. The point is, it was crazy. And speaking of holes in the front, they remind me of back in the days when I was only getting a pair of sneakers like once every 3 to 4 years. So what I used to do at a younger age, I used to buy my shoes a little bit bigger than what my foot was because it was going to need to grow in there for the next couple of years. And also, if it would end up and get a hole in the toe, I always made sure I got like black sneakers because what you do is when you got a hole in the toe and you got your white socks, take the black shoe polish right around the sock, right around the toe area. Boom! Of course not with your toe in it. You don't want it to go through this, the sock and get on your toe, and you got black ink, and you got to try to, the black dye, you got to try to get off and all that. But no, just go around this, so that when the toe's sticking out, you can barely tell. Blends in with the black shoe polish, with the black shoe, all that, and you're good. But, that's if you're really down bad like that. Thank God those days are behind me. But, anyway, dude has stole my socks. So I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I'm down bad. I'm like, for this dude to steal an old pair of socks, and I know he was looking at me. He took me out. He said, okay, I'm going to steal something. I need his socks. He looked at me. He should have been like, damn, man. Like, what in the hell? That's like back in the days when people would rob somebody, right? Sometimes people rob somebody. They give me a wallet. Give me a wallet. Give me a wallet. And they take the wallet and be like, oh, you got this $2? Damn, you broke. What's wrong with you, B? And they'll mess around and take $5. Look, man, here. It's almost like I was practicing. You need this more than I do. Here, just take that. Take your $2 back, and here's an extra 10 on top of it, man. Just take that and go. Get yourself together. Come back with some real money so I have something to really rob from you. I'm like, if the dude would have seen the socks and said, nah, I ain't gonna take them, man. I mean, I'm down bad, but this dude must be worse than his socks looking like this. No, he stole them. So you know what I did? The next day I said, okay. I said, you know what? He stole my socks. That's a violation. I said, but I feel for the brother, because if I'm down bad, he really is. Let me just find the best looking socks I have. So I found a pair that was, still off white, but not grayish, didn't have the stains. The holes, didn't have the holes in the toe, but I think I had the hole in the heel, which I don't know how I get holes in the heel of my socks. When it was wore out, it looked like I just took my foot and just kicking the back of the heel on the ground all day, just in my socks, just trying to knock a hole in there. Like I said, I don't know how it happened, but I said, these are the least holy socks. They don't look the best, but let me take this for the brother. Interesting thing, after he stole my socks, the next day I never saw the brother back again. So I said, oh well. I said, it is what it is. I was like, hopefully all goes well with him. Whew. Hopefully he doesn't try to go back into his drug dealing days. Not that he would have the money anyway. I mean, if that story was real anyway. But I was like, the money we making here, I was like, to even buy another fake brick, I was like, he'd have to be saving up for like the next 2 years. You know, probably longer than that. Well, whatever. Yeah, definitely longer than that. But anyway, it was crazy, man. After that situation, though, you know, I would really just go home and just look at myself in the mirror and say, what are you doing, man? I was like, get yourself together. Yeah. I was like, I'm more of a boss than a worker. I mean, you know, I worked when I had to, but I was like, I got to get my business stuff together. I'm like, so I can't go through this. I'm like, especially the temp jobs. I'm like, I done met some real characters, but after dude stole my socks, crazy. So I don't want to really drag this on anymore. We are going to bring the story to a close. So this concludes Temping Ain't Easy. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. You know, just trying to bring you this, educate you, bring a little smile to you, man. A little smile in your life. Everybody can use a smile, laugh here and there, man. Laughter makes the world go round. These days it seems like sorrow and pain. So just trying to, you know, lighten the mood a little bit, man. Come on, man. You know you gotta laugh. You know, I remember somebody posted something crazy online one time, and I posted something back because I don't really respond when people talk greasy. My thing is this: I don't care what people saying online. You say something about me, it is what it is. I'm gonna defend my stance, but I'm gonna put it, and I'm still gonna keep it respectful when they acting like a clown, whatever. Because my thing is, it's not real life. It's a digital world. You wouldn't say that to me in real life, and if you was, so be it. We can discuss it like men. But I'm not arguing and talking crazy to nobody online. But hold on, there was a point to all this. There was a reason why I said this, and now I done messed around and forgot. Wait a minute. Hold up. There was a point to all this. I think it was something about somebody had said, and it was the way I responded. But you know what? I done messed around and forgot. That's a joke in itself. Point is, we're going to end it here. I don't want to ramble on. It's your boy LB, man. This was Temping Easy. Hope you enjoyed it. I think it was something surrounding about I think the guy said something. I said, you know what? I said, he was saying something about life would be crazy. Something. I said, life would be crazy if I woke up tomorrow without a sense of humor and couldn't have a good laugh. Because I was like, with everything going on in your lives, world is crazy these days. Post-corona, all type of things, you know, just all type of sickness, illness. People wilding out, shooting up, stabbing people in the subway, and then knocking to the treadmill. It's crazy. Hit my hand too. But, you know, people wild out or whatever. I try to bring a smile to people's face, man. Let's have some fun. So like I said, if I can make you laugh, educate you, try to bring you a positive lesson, make sure you're doing better than I was in the past. Doing better now, but I was down bad plenty of times. I've been up and I've been down. And when I was down, boy, damn near rock bottom. But like I said, by the grace of God, you pull yourself back, you keep the faith, you keep hustling, you guys will get there. So I wish you all out there health, wealth, and success. Till the next episode, we're going to do the signature sign off. You know it's chill. Till the next episode. All right, love you guys. Keep it safe. Stay safe out here in the streets. Peace.